here's a video for DX9's Tyrant, their larger Tyrant, obviously Galvatron. And here he is in his space cannon mode. This is an early test shot. As such, I know there's like two separate cannons. There's a solid version and this clear, sparkly version. It only came with this. I know he also is going to come with a matrix accessory on a chain that he can wear around his neck like in the movie, which also did not arrive with this. This right here is everything that came with it, this test sample today. But you're going to get a pretty good idea of how this thing works. Like I said, space tank cannon thing, whatever he is. This doesn't really have any movement. You can't really lean him back, and you can tilt this, but that doesn't, for support, he pretty much stays level like that. That's for later on. But yeah, one of the things that's neat is he does have working rubber treads back here. And there's a little wheel back in this piece to roll. Now, he doesn't roll very well. The treads are tight enough that, like, he tends to... this is a test shot, so that may change. And these hinges are a little loose, so, like, pushing... If you try to push him to get those treads to roll, it tends to flop these in. This little panel, again, will probably be tighter on the final version. It's supposed to stick out like that, but it does kind of flip up like that. But yeah, just look at him from all around. Now, to transform him, so where do we want to start? Well, I guess we'll start with the cannon. So lift this up. You can see this panel down here splits in half. There's actually a couple little tabs on the back of this that slide up, so it pops off like that. You can see there's a little groove there on this. So when you're transforming into his cannon mode, you take this piece, put it on the top, close that up, and that's how that works. So we'll go ahead and pop the cannon off here. And the cannon itself transforms. You pull this out just a little bit, rotate this all the way around, and then collapse it up into this part up here to give you the cannon. Now the cannon splits here. Again, it's two pieces. And I've seen, and like I said, there's two different. I've seen this clear cannon as well as a more solid cannon. And I've seen some pictures that make it look like there's an LED up in here. Obviously, because of the way this transforms with this hinge piece running up entirely through the middle, this one does not have, or is not capable of having an LED in it unless you stuck it, you know, like up here into the barrel. And maybe that's how it works. Maybe there's an LED, maybe that's why this comes apart. So there's a little LED module you can stick up inside this hollow point, put it back together, and have the LED glowing. So it's not something that you can activate with a button on the outside here. Maybe the other cannon is an entirely single piece that has the LED built in. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, that piece did not come with this. So still some surprises from the retail version when that does come out. But anyway, that's his cannon. And then back here, you want to come back here, take this purple piece here on top, push it back. That unlocks these tabs. And then you can unlock, just kind of slide these pieces out. Like this. I'll lift it up and flip it out and around. Those are going to be his feet. And these, there's a little tab here, a little kind of triangular tab that you have to lift up to unhook these two halves. And then the legs. And again, these legs unpeg. One side has a peg, one side doesn't. And then you open this up, and that allows you to transform the leg all the way back around like this. You can see this. There's a neat little gray panel that folds out to fill in this gap and then collapses in as you fold this to form his knees. The needed detail here. And then you take this panel and fold it in. Should go inside the leg. Now this panel folds down. This panel folds inside the leg. And then this panel folds around it. That should collapse more than that. There you go. Fold that all the way around the leg and peg it in. It actually pegs in over here on this side. And then you collapse this panel around, close that up. Take this, rotate it down, rotate it to be his foot, and collapse it up into the leg itself. This should fold up too somehow. Now that piece in the back should have some. There we go. Flip that up. Should go up more than that, I thought. There we go. You can see that's this connection right here is very tight, but you collapse that up to form the foot. You can collapse this up in there a little bit more. So it's not quite the big chunk foot that it looks like. Those things are really tight. Anyway, onto the other leg, and it's the same thing on this side. Fold the panel down, fold this all the way around the leg, lift that up, close that, tap that into place, rotate the foot, push it all the way up into there, and then bring the heel up. There we go. Really tight, these things. There we go. So yeah, good solid heels, but that is going to mess your finger up a little bit. Okay, yeah, these collapse up as well, form his toes. Rotate those around to the front. Come on. There we go. And there's his legs done. Actually, these may not be on the front, but so yeah, coming up to the upper body. This cannon piece unpegs right here. You can see this little support. Lift that up. These panels right here are on like this really weird armature. You kind of gotta, there's a slot here. These slide up. There we go, up into here like that. And again, you have to move the legs a little bit out of the way here. You can see there's a little slot up here that these grooves come into. Why is my phone dim? Anyway. Not sure what's preventing this from going up into there. There we go. So rotate those up. And they're going to sit around here and rotate forward and sit on his hips like that. Except I got the legs facing the wrong way. So there. Then up here at the top, this piece right here folds down along the back of his crotch plate and then folds up and pegs in underneath there. Yeah, I've got these. Oh, I did have them facing the right way. I've got to rotate the waist around. There we go. Got to rotate his waist around here like this. Upper body. This piece opens up. You can see kind of how everything goes in there. But come out here, you pull the arms out. And these, again, getting these folded in, figuring out how to do these without instructions was really crazy. So you bring this out. It should pop out. This whole assembly comes out. So this whole gray piece should come out and around to form his shoulders. There we go. Pop that out. And same over here on this side. It's just a matter of the way it locks in up here. And again, there's a lot of places on this that lock together very securely, and it's nice, but getting them unattached, they just don't want to move. Come on, arm. And it's really all about this piece up here. But if we get that piece out, we can get the arm out. There we go. So yeah, once that's out, you can see his head sits down under here. You can open up this panel. And his head's on a dual hinge as well, so getting it up and through this hole was a little bit of a pain in the dinkus. There we go, like that. Bring his head up, and then you can close that panel down. Now his head's up. So yeah, bring the arms all the way up. You want to get this whole, again, this thick piece is on a separate hinge, so bring this piece up, get the arms up out of the way here. This piece right here, when I said this bends, you fold this up through here, and it actually goes all the way through the body. You got to get it so this tail comes out the back here, and then this whole piece collapses down. You can see how his abs kind of rotate in. And actually, before we do that, we should rotate this up. Rotate these panels around right here. Fold this gray panel in, and fold this purple panel down. And the gray panel sits in there. Fold that out. And this has to go under the arm and around onto his back like that. This gray panel, the purple panel fills in this, and then this panel comes up and forms the upper chest here. Yeah, you want to do that before you fold this in. So, purple panel out, gray panel in, and then get it up under the arm. Fold that panel up against that, and the treads sit on his back. Then this goes all the way through. Snap that into place. See his abs fold up there. And this comes up forward onto his back, and this panel actually has a little tab here that tabs into the back of this purple piece. Rotate the arms around. When going back to Canon, you rotate the arms, there's a peg here on the back of his arm that pegs into this peg up here on the gray piece that slides out, and then once it's back in robot mode, you just slide this forward and push it up against his head there. And then you open up the forearm and flip out his hand, which again pegs onto here. You'll know you got the hand in the proper way because it pegs on. And same over here. Slide those in, stand them up. Don't worry, we'll get the camera angled on them properly here. And then you take the Canon piece, which has a peg right here, peg it onto his arm, and there is Tyrant in robot mode. And it's a pretty nice looking Galvatron. Like I said, the treads sit on his back. This piece comes up. You can even fold that forward more if you want. But that's mostly to get it through the torso there. So you get this done, and oh, this arm's facing the wrong way. You want to do it so the elbow faces forward, and this piece is on the outside, and that gives him dual hinged elbows. So yeah, all in all, a really nice looking Galvatron. And of course, now he's sitting off to this one side here because here he is with their version of Rodimus Prime, their carry. This is actually the test shot version. I'm going to do a comparison between the test shot and the retail version here in just a bit. But just to give you an idea of how these two stand together, Tyrant's a little bigger, as I think he should be. But yeah, it looks really nice with carry. And when I do the comparison, in the comparison video with these two, I'll show off Tyrant with both versions. But yeah, so articulation, he's got, it's all hinges, but he can look up and down, he can look side to side, he can look down. He actually got a pretty decent range of movement thanks to this collar. It doesn't get in the way. He can actually look down pretty well, which is nice. He's got shoulders, side to side. They don't click loudly, but there is a nice ratcheting joint front to back. He does have a bicep swivel, dual hinged elbows here. He's got a ball joint at the wrist. His fingers are all individually articulated. The thumb is one piece. The fingers are two pieces. So you can pose those in a lot of different ways. He does have waist swivel, obviously. He's got, like these can move out of the way, so he's got ratcheting hips side to side, ratcheting hips front to back. He does have that thigh swivel. He's got just a regular hinge knee. Where there could be another hinge is where the transformation hinge is. But he's got a hinge knee. and he's got pretty decent range of movement because of the way that the feet collapse up into the body. He's got a huge range of movement front to back in the ankle, as well as a decent amount of ankle tilt. It doesn't tilt out so much, but it tilts in to, like I said, that's how he transforms. So you can turn it all the way sideways. That's my one, and here's my one real big complaint about robot mode. He's got ratcheting hips, which is good for stability, but like so many ratcheting hips, there's not as many detents as you would like, so he either goes from standing straight-legged to a kind of bow-legged pose like this. Now for Galvatron, I think you can get some real dynamic poses out of him with his legs like that. I just wish there were another click somewhere in between there and there. But he's a nice rich purple. The hands are a different color. I don't know, they must be made out of a different plastic, and I'm not entirely sure for the reasoning for that, because they feel just as sturdy. And again, this is a test shot, so that's something that may change on the final, especially when you see the comparison with the test shot of Carrie to the retail version of Carrie. That, like, there's a lot of changes that get made even when you see something looking almost as final as this. There's still stuff that happens between test shot and production run. Like I said, with the Matrix accessory, I think it would look really cool hanging around his neck. That didn't come. He does have that separate cannon. But all in all, this is a really nice looking Galvatron figure. I know some people complained about the hinges here on the chest, but I think they've done a pretty decent job of kind of hiding and disguising those a little bit. I mean, they're still there. If you're looking for them, you can see them, but they make it look like part of his chest, especially with these little caps up here. They could have, left these pieces off, but they gave them some little flip up things to kind of fill in that and make it look less like an obvious hinge. The head sculpt on this, let me see if I can get up here and focus in on the head sculpt, because the head sculpt on this guy is really nice. From the sweat back of the helmet, just a really nice looking head sculpt. The sticker is just a Decepticon. That's actually one of the Decepticon symbols that came with Combiner Wars leader Megatron. Just so you know. Go ahead and get this refocused. But yeah, there you go. There is DX9's Tyrant, their version of Galvatron.